the fact that you can pop that question up.
Right.
Love it.
Hi, everybody.
Right.
This is Nadine Gilkison. I'm here with you again. I'm excited to join Jen Hall today, and she's going to be telling you all kinds of fun things about Bitmojis. Just a little background, how I feel like it's like degrees of Kevin Bacon or something. Like I keep telling everybody how I know everybody. So I know Jen from the Google Innovator Academy. So we were both part of NYC 19 cohort. And I actually got to sit in. Jen did this session, although she just told me that she added more stuff, so I'm excited. She did this session for us because we had some breakout sessions during our time at Innovator. So I'm going to let Jen introduce herself here, and then we'll get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you guys and share my love of Bitmoji. Like Nadine said, I did this as a quick 30-minute PD at Innovator, and it's kind of grown from there, and it's super fun. So if you are as obsessed with your Bitmoji as I am with mine, I call her Genmoji, you're going to learn some tips and tricks, hopefully. I am an educational technology specialist in Atlanta Public Schools, and I'm a former middle school language arts teacher. So was in the classroom for 17 years and now support teachers at the district level. And I'm super excited to share with you guys today. So just goals for our session is just learn some tips and tricks. So if you're already using your Bitmoji, great. Hopefully you're going to gain at least one or two ideas of how you can level up with using your Bitmoji to engage your audience. So this is my post from today. I had to put it in there because hello, may the 4th be with you. And I'm going to explain how I did some of this stuff, which is, what do you think, Nadine? You like that? Was that good?
I do. I like that.
This is, may the 4th be with you. I took this Bitmoji and I did a little augmenting to it. And then I threw it into my selfie of the day. I do a t-shirt challenge and wear a different t-shirt every day. And today is day 186. And this was, of course, Star Wars Day. So that's a little humor. I'm going to show you guys how some of the stuff that I've done. But this right here is kind of what sparked my storytelling with Bitmoji. So as Nadine said, I went to the Innovator Academy and I created this story with my Genmoji to explain the process of me applying and hoping and waiting to get into the Innovator Academy. And yes, I was in, and then off I was going on my team, awesome team, Normbusters. Off to New York we went. And so as you can see, I'm using my Bitmoji and I'm adding some other elements to tell a story. So that's kind of how I felt when I arrived and was ready to learn with my fellow Google innovators. So as you can see, you can do some really cool stuff. So the first thing, if you haven't already done this, is you've got to get the Bitmoji Chrome extension. It only works on Chrome. So no matter what device you're using, if you're using a Chrome browser, you can install that Chrome extension, which gives you the ability to bring your Bitmoji into all things awesome, including Google Slides and drawings and docs. So make sure you have that. So this is actually just a quick little video that explains that whole process. And I'm going to kind of talk through what you need to do and some ways that I've used this Chrome extension. So you've got to have it, download it. Make sure that you have the most up-to-date version of Chrome before you download it, because there's some new features that I'm going to show you guys are very important that you want to have the most updated version. So once you install it from the Chrome store, this is magic. This is my go-to extension for everything. So you're going to log into your Bitmoji, which you most likely have already created on your phone, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, and you're going to log in. And once you have it, you can go to that extension that's at the top of that window there and just drag and drop it into Google Slides or into Google Docs or into Google Drawings. That's what a lot of teachers are doing right now, is that they're adding them very easily, just the way they are dropping them in. But what I like to do is I actually like to bring them into tools like Google Drawings. And if you're not familiar with Google Drawings, I've got several tutorials on that, but Nadine just had a great session on Google Drawings that you want to check out that shows you how you can augment and use the Google Drawings tools. So as you see, I'm dragging and dropping this in, but what's really cool is now I can actually want to change it up and I want to augment it. So this is what I did earlier with changing it from what it said was, may the force be with you. I changed my Bitmoji to say, may the 4th be with you. So this is another example that I did where I changed this and I wanted to just augment it, adding in shapes, changing it out. So you can do this with any Bitmoji. So you can make custom stickers for your kids. This is definitely great with this distance learning and you want to be able to drop some cool Bitmojis in with your kids, and you might want to, at the end, we're wrapping up the end of the school year, you might want to throw some Bitmojis together with students' names on it, shouting out their excellence from the school year. So as you can see, I'm adding some text, I'm changing out the fonts, I'm adding some other elements to it, and then this will become a new image. When I export it, I can export this as its own new image. So that's just a one hack and one reason you've got to have that Chrome extension. Okay, so what do I use my Bitmoji for? Or as I said, I call her Genmoji. I use her for everything. In fact, I get teased a lot when people will see me in real life and say, hey, you look familiar. I recognize you from your cartoon, which I think is awesome and very flattering. That I think I kind of look like my Genmoji. So I use it for all my social media logos and stickers. In fact, this right here is my most recent sticker that I designed in my classy class with Tony Vincent. And got those printed out as stickers. I use it for my social media stuff to highlight what PDs I've got coming up. So the other way, and I see a lot of teachers are doing this, is that they're adding it to their Google Classroom headers. So if you haven't already done that, this is such a great way to jazz up your Google Classroom and make it more inviting for students. And you can customize them and change them. So I've got 2 links in here that you guys can grab. The presentation link we're going to share out at the end of this. And you'll have access to this presentation as well as the links that I've included. But I've got one for Google Drawings and Google Slides, depending on what your comfort level is. And you can customize it, take out my Bitmoji, add yours in, and they're just the right size to upload those. Okay. So other ways in terms of having your Bitmoji out there and leading a very exciting life. If you're a Wakelet user or a Flipgrid user, I use my Bitmojis in those as well. That way, I'm a big believer in branding, and your classroom is your brand. And so using your Bitmoji for everything kind of just makes it visually interesting for your students. And it makes something, if it's across all of the things you're using with them, they're like, oh, okay, I can see that so-and-so's classes work. Okay. So I've used it to create headers in Wakelet and Flipgrid. I've got a Google Drawings version of that Flipgrid template in the presentation as well. So here is probably one of my favorite ones I've done recently for social media. Did anyone participate in the Dolly Parton challenge? I'm just curious. Everybody was loving that Dolly Parton challenge. And if you aren't familiar with it, she posted on her Instagram, you need to find a woman that can do everything. And hers were LinkedIn, Facebook. She had Tinder instead of Twitter. I made it more professional for me, so I chose to go with Twitter and Instagram. And as you can see, my Genmoji, I pulled all those in to show my different personalities for my different social media profiles. I also, as you can see, I augmented this one right here. Was when I renewed my national board certification, I, of course, had to announce it, and Genmoji had to be the person to announce that right there. So other ways you can use Bitmoji, and a lot of people are doing this, is inside of their newsletters. I create a weekly tech tips 411 newsletter. And if you're interested in getting that, it comes out on Tuesdays. You can subscribe on my website, and I'm going to share that link out later. And I share out 4 elements every week: ed tech tip, a Chrome app or an extension, what my favorite is of the week, and an instructional resource. The challenge for me, and this has been quite fun, is that every single one of these elements, I find a different Bitmoji that kind of goes with whatever tool I'm talking about. So you can use tools like Adobe Spark to get creative with that design, and bring in your Bitmoji there. So if you're not using Adobe Spark, it's such a cool tool. But this right here, I created this in Google Drawings, and this is just a ginormous template that I add in elements right there. So some other ways that I've been using my Bitmoji, and I now that we've gone virtual, I'm laughing because I keep getting people, they see these that I've shared out, and they're like, hey, I saw your classroom etiquette, for online learning. Can we use that? And I had a friend of mine that loved it. And she said, you know what? I'm going to borrow your idea, and I'm going to put my own Bitmoji in it to make it personal for my students. So hers turned out awesome. She did a couple of different tweaks to it to make it more her design style. I created this one on virtual field trips, and I sent it out as a resource for anyone that was interested. But also when we got out for spring break, I was like, hello, while you're out for the next week, during your staycation, you might be interested in taking some of these virtual field trips. So again, bringing in those different elements. lots of different ways to use it on infographics. It just jazzes it up. I was quite proud of myself that I used 12 different Bitmoji expressions to show the new features of the grid view on Google Meet. So I was able to do that. So again, just taking it and using different Bitmojis to tell different messages. All of the infographics are also linked in the presentation as well. So as a tech person, I generally don't print stuff because I'm trying to save the trees and my office is my backpack. So if it doesn't fit in my backpack, I don't need it. But sometimes there's a need to print things, and definitely in the classroom, you're going to want to be able to do things like this. This is a table topper that folds into a trifold. So it's 3-sided. And on each side, I did a different design of a Bitmoji and different QR codes. Each one of those goes to a different one of my resources. One goes to my app, one goes to my website, and the other goes to signing up for my Tech Tips 411. So this printable table topper is a great way for students to know. As you can see, this is showing that I'm using this on my computer, and this is just getting the info. And then I've augmented this one, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So just some other options. This is one of my most recent creations, and I'm super proud of it. How many of you guys are actually creating scenes for your classrooms? I know I've seen several people were doing their May the 4th be with you. I've got some folks I've seen that are posted about doing Cinco de Mayo, and it's teacher appreciation. I'm seeing that Sarah says, yes, would love to get the link to the presentation. Yes, you guys are going to get it at the end. My middle school teacher personality says, guess what? I'm going to give it to you, but I want you to pay attention right now, and you'll get it at the end of the session. I know I'm terrible. It's the middle school mindedness in me. Nadine said that was approved. So, but we promise we're going to drop it in the chat. No problem. So if you've made a scene, that's awesome. So this right here is actually what my studio looks like in my office right now. So I'm actually presenting from this computer, and all this action is going on. And I've used Google Drawings and slides to do the different shapes to actually recreate all the elements that are in there. So it's just a great way to set a scene. So this is now my header on Twitter. I put it on my YouTube channel, and I put it on my About Me page. And when we get back and I get to be in a real world school, hopefully I'll be able to update it and put me in a lab at a school setting. So just another cool way to create those custom cartoons. If you really want to level up, this is another one that I created. This is my cartoon about what my role is as an educational technology specialist. I often get asked when I meet new teachers that have just joined the district that say, hey, what exactly do you do and how can you help me? So I created this. This is actually an 8-slide Google slide cartoon that actually is different scenarios of how I can help you. So it's kind of a day in the life of an ed tech specialist. So right here, as you can see, these are all the ways I help with training, pushing in, working with classes, and so forth. So this right here, I was really super proud of because it's a slide presentation that's 8 slides. So it's a cartoon that you can watch. So now let's get into the really fun stuff. So you've seen ways I'm doing it. Now I'm going to show you some secret stuff. This is like the secret sauce that when I show this to people, and I'm going to be curious to see if anyone else has done this before. Has anyone swapped their Bitmoji expression? Has anyone said, I really love that Bitmoji, but that's not the expression, because tone and expression have so much meaning, and you're like, oh, that's not what I'm trying to convey to students. So like this right here, this is the actual Bitmoji that when you download it that says, let's do this. It's got this kind of frightening, scary, I don't know, expression, but I would like for it to be more of a happy, we're ready to do this. Let's dive in. So right here, we're going to go next. This is how I did it. Are you ready? This is super exciting. Now y'all are seeing behind the scenes. Now that everyone's going to be doing my trick, I took in the one, I grabbed another one, and I cropped it down. And then I overlaid this face over that one. Is that magic or what? So now I say that is one of my new images. So that's the way you can do the swap. So I can do the swap, but I also do fun things like this one. So I did a face swap and added a background. If you look at the Bitmoji here, the can I help you? That's not good customer service expression right there, right? So if I want to have it be welcoming, inviting, and have it be something like, oh, when you come to my website, can I help you? I'm here to support you. This is the original expression. This is it with the new expression. And I actually put in a background image to it to give it that color to match my branding. Okay. So I'm going to pause here for a minute because I know people's minds are hopefully going
yes
with the face swapping.
Comment.
See, someone always wondered how I did that. You're right. See, I'm telling you, you tuned in and you're getting the secret sauce right here. So so here's what it looks like on the background of that one cartoon right here. So this right here is that one scene, and the other thing is Bitmoji doesn't have a lot of full body scenes. So I had to kind of cobble together my Bitmoji body with the Bitmoji face and the head that I wanted. So I got this, like, here's that one that normally is like that you're leaning out and you only have half of your body. And I grabbed that and added a foot from another one. And then I changed my facial expression here to give me this smile. Right now, y'all are thinking I'm absolutely crazy that I am spending this much time on my Genmoji, but it's so much fun. And I'm seeing, which crop tool did you use? This was done completely in Google Slides. I've brought my Bitmoji into Google Slides. I'm using the crop tool in there and the mask tool in there. Okay. So if I go up here, here's another one. I wanted that pop arm to show what I'm showing you on my presentation. And here it is. Boom. It was the You Go Girl, which I kind of like the hand on the hip pose too. But here it is. I'm throwing that arm on another Bitmoji, as you can see, and I added the whole body to it. So this right here, again, you're seeing like my secret weapon on what I do with my Bitmojis right here. And I'm hoping you guys, I can't wait to see who tries this. Like I said, Tony says she loves how detailed crazy you are. I like that you call it detailed. I might say a little Genmoji obsessed, but yes, it's super fun. So here's the next thing. And this came out after I went and did the initial presentation. So now you're getting to see the good stuff. Customized text. This is why I said when you install it, make sure you have the most current version of the Chrome browser when you install the Bitmoji. Now you can do customized text. If I type something in the search bar looking for it, it will go, oh, you don't have anything with that word in it. We're going to customize and create one for you. So notice it gave me school ones, but I can put in learn and look at all these options. If you don't like the option you get, you just erase it, type the word again, and check it out. So look, there's my Genmoji custom text. Magical, magical, magical. Now, the caveat to that is you'll notice down here, any custom Bitmoji that you do is going to have that little yellow circle gold, whatever icon to tell people that it's a customized Bitmoji, which most people don't really care. But as detail oriented as I am, as my new friend said, I'm going to remove that and I'll show you how I do that as well. So there's the customized text right there. And this is amazing. Okay. So now let's go in here. There's a couple of them. So normally if I have a Bitmoji like this, if I've got it over a white background, I will just drop a white circle over top of that circle at the bottom so you don't see it. Sometimes your Bitmoji, depending on the one you pick, it's going to have some color in it. And I will just use my, and I need to add this in. I need to use my eyedropper color picker so that I can match it to whatever background it is. I need to add that to the slide deck. I forgot to include that. It's such a great tool. So here we go. You saw at the beginning of the session, I did my storytelling with putting my Bitmojis in and telling a story. What I did was I created those Bitmojis in slides so that I could add the other elements and change the things I wanted. And then I exported them as JPEGs or PNGs. So right here, you can go in and download those. You can even do this on your mobile device, and you can make an animated GIF. So this is the easy GIF maker. It is super simple. You upload them, you choose how long each one stays on, and voila, you've created a GIF. So the best part is you can do it on your laptop and have your kids even do this as well to create their own animated GIFs, or you can do it on your mobile device. So if you only have your Bitmoji installed on your mobile device and you want to save some of those images to make a GIF, you can do that on a mobile device as well. The site works seamlessly on the mobile device. Okay. So here is an example of another tool called Tall Tweets. Is anyone using tall tweets to create animated GIFs with Google Slides? This thing is super cool. I'm actually working with a teacher, a sixth grade science teacher coming up for their end of the year project. The kids are going to do stop motion creations with Google Slides, and then we're going to export it to tall tweets to create an animated GIF of their learning. So here we go. These are two images. They're very similar, but notice I alternated the colors in the front and the back. And on this one, I've got a different expression, and I've moved the arm just a little bit so that when I put it together and export it as a GIF, I get this. Now it looks like I'm waving at you. There she is, Bitmoji saying, hi guys, thanks for tuning in. So tall tweets is magical, okay? So definitely if you haven't checked that out, you want to try that. You just do each slide, move each Bitmoji element just a little bit, alternating it, and then you export it and it will turn it into a GIF. Nadine, have you tried the GIF maker or tall tweets?
Yes, I have tried both of those. Is this the one you were telling me about? Did you just make this animated one with tall tweets?
Yes, this one I just made with tall tweets.
Yeah, I love that one.
Super.
I need to test that one out.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. All right, so next up, we want to level up. So my Bitmoji, she leads a very exciting life. But, you know, sometimes I need her to have friends. And so you have to have friendmojis. And so friendmojis, you got a couple of options. We're going to talk about the first way is on Snapchat. So if you're an iPhone user, for sure, I'm not sure if they rolled it out to Android or not. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're an Android user and you've been able to do this. But on Snapchat, you can, we call it marrying on there. And you can have your Bitmoji be with someone else's Bitmoji. And you can then search for the ones that you want to use. Now, this is using it from your mobile device. So then you got to do a couple of layers of go into a Google slide deck, go into your text options, type in that you want this, you know, who you want to be friendmojis with, and then you're going to copy and paste it into a slide deck. So that's like a little bit more drawn out process, but it's super cool. So you can do that. Or there's this friendmojis hack Google Sheet. This is perfect if you don't want to be on Snapchat, or you're on a team and you want to have access to everybody's Bitmojis when you want to be able to partner them. So I've got a link to this friendmojis quick sheet as well as the Google Sheet you need to do this. But what you do is you actually grab your Bitmoji ID from your Chrome extension and your friend's Bitmoji ID, and I've got it. It gives you step-by-step instructions here. And you paste them in there, and voila, then your friendmojis appear together. Now, I will say that it's not all of the friendmojis, and I would also say I would not share this out with students because it doesn't filter out for only school-appropriate friendmojis. You want to make sure that you're using, you know, that you only share it with the adults. Because as much as I love Bitmoji, there are some that are not appropriate for school. Because I have teachers that say, oh, can I have my kids use their Bitmojis? You could maybe get away with it for high schoolers, upper, you know, 11th and 12th graders, but really, you really don't want them throwing in the, like, I'm bringing sexy back or the WTF Bitmojis into your classroom. So this friendmojis hack is super cool. So the link is in the presentation, which you're going to get. So then you can really level up right here. How about this? I have more than one friend sometimes, and sometimes I do presentations with 2 or more people. And so using Google Slides, I've used the Friendmoji hack to be able to, like, grab, for instance, the 2 of us here, and then doing it again with this person, and then just overlaying it as well. So these are my friends. This was our logo I created when we presented at ISTE 2019 last year. So definitely a way to bring them in and add more than one. You can also share your slide deck if you're not using friendmojis and say, hey, everybody drop your Bitmoji on, and you can kind of gather them together and group images together. So here's another secret sauce tip. I don't know if they're ready for this, Nadine. This is like, when I told people this, they were like, shut the front door. I don't know.
You're going to blow their mind.
All right, are we ready? So if you're in your Bitmoji app and you decide, hey, I want to save this, and you say save the image directly from the app, it saves it as a JPEG, which causes all sorts of problems when you want to layer it in and use it with other things. So my hack is to use Google Keep. If you go in and open up a Google Keep note, so I keep a Google Keep note and I just add to it every day when I do my Bitmoji of the day. And if you go into the text option and you pull up your Bitmoji like you're messaging your friend and you paste it in, then what you're going to do is you're going to click on it and you're going to say save as an image. Now, when you save it to your drive, it's saved as a PNG. So now you can do whatever you want with it. We're using Google Keep as a one way to save them because sometimes they take them away. Star Wars examples. They came back for a short limited time right now, but all the superhero ones are gone. All the Game of Thrones ones are gone. So if there's one that comes up that you really want, save it in your Google Keep. But if you export it right now, it will save it as a PNG. And that way you can bring it in and do all sorts of cool stuff like this. So this right here is one of my other go-to apps I use all the time. It's PhotoGrid. It's free with ads, or you can pay for it, but I'm able to do everything I want to do on the free version and I just disregard the ads. This was a selfie that I took at one of my schools. We were doing a planet poster project. So I wore my NASA shirt and I took my selfie and I took the picture and I overlaid it over a background that I brought in. And I'm going to show you what tool I used to do that. And then I brought in my Bitmoji on top of it. And since it's a PNG, it layered on there nicely. And then I brought it in to Twitter and used their image features and overlaid my cool little astronaut mask and the other little elements here. So if you're not already using PhotoGrid, it is awesome. And it's available both on Android and on iOS. So definitely you want to check that one out.
You had a question on here, which I think I know the answer, but I'll let you answer it. It says, how can you insert a 3D moving Bitmoji like dancing or playing guitar onto your Google Slides? It says that somebody saw that, but they didn't know how to do it.
So what that person did was they probably used either the GIF maker or they used Tall Tweets to export it. And then you bring that GIF into your Google Slide presentation. Create it in one slide and then you bring it into Tall Tweets to turn it into an animated GIF. And when you export it as a GIF, you bring that back in.
The other thing I wondered too was if they're talking about, you know how in Snapchat, you can pull it up where the person, you know, like where your Bitmoji is animated. And I wonder if they're like holding it over their screen and it's getting the background or whatever. Because I have started to see that with distance learning.
Oh, that's really cool to use the animated ones. Those are really, that would be really cool. Yeah. So you could video it with the background. I like that idea. That's really cool. Yeah, I hadn't seen that.
I've seen people
challenge accepted. I've got something to do for homework.
Yeah, I've seen where they do that, and it may not even be like a slides background, but it'll be in their house, or they'll have their class in the background.
So Snapchat does let you do that. I've seen that. And if you're really addicted to your Bitmoji, if you go into Snapchat, you can watch what's now called Bitmoji TV. Yeah. And they're little 4-minute, 5-minute. It's an animated series starring your Bitmoji. It's hysterical. I've screen grabbed a couple of those elements to be able to use later so I could have an animated version of me.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah. Great question. So next up, these are the different tools that I use to kind of help level up what I'm doing. The first is this remove background. If you've not done that, the remove.bg is amazing. You can do it on your website. It's web-based on your browser, or you can also use it from your phone. So when I did mine today, I took my selfie of me in front of my green screen in my office and then just took that background out and brought it in to the PhotoGrid to layer those elements together. Other ones that I've done, depending on how many layers I want my little Bitmoji selfie or scene to be, I've used Green Screen by Doink, which is magical. It's a paid app that works on iPhone and iPad. It's $2.99, I think. Or wait, is it $4.99 maybe now?
Yeah.
Worth every
$4.99.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is super, super awesome. It allows you 3 layers. So you can have a background, yourself, and you can add your Bitmoji, or you could do 2 Bitmojis on top of a background and move them around and export it as an image. If you really want to level up, you can use VScope, which I believe is $3.99. It is also a green screen app. That's really cool. It's a little bit harder learning curve because it's geared a little bit more towards photographers and videographers in terms of some of the features of it, but it has 6 layers. So I did one the other day that I was able to layer in, bring in text, do all sorts of cool stuff. So check out VScope to save it as an image or to save it as like a little animated GIF as well. The third tool that, like in terms of a creation piece, would be Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark is super easy to use, and it's a great way for you to create either a diagram, so an infographic, or you want to do put it on your website and you want to bring in your Bitmoji that way, or to create the videos, and those are very fun to create as well. So those are some tools to check out. So here's some of my most recent ones I'm kind of proud of. This is using that photo grid to overlay text and add my Bitmoji. So when I had to recertify as a Google level 2 certification, so that was cool to be able to bring in that text, to bring this in. I'm hearing that from a lot of people, they might think that looks like book snaps, where you can have your students, snap a picture, or you snap a picture and you bring in your Bitmoji. Using it for, my social media stuff, trying to be consistent with, colors and background stuff. And then here's another one for the layering and flip photo grid. But this right here was an animated one that I created with tall tweets. So for this, I had the text stayed the same on each slide, and each slide was a different Bitmoji. So it was like 5 slides. And then when I exported it into tall tweets, it created this animation. And this right here actually is the header for my new Lights, Camera, Action app. So if you're interested in learning about video production in the classroom and tools and resources, that's my new app. And I was super excited to be able to create that animation right there. But someone else asked about like the dancing stuff. How you like this?
Nice.
This was that she has much better dance moves than I do. But I did this in WeVideo by using their animated backgrounds and the green screen feature, and being able to layer in my PNG version of my Bitmoji. So that was, there's the dancing one. I was quite proud of that one. She's killing it. Like, I mean, she's dabbing, dancing, all that good stuff. So those are like some of my major favorite tips and tricks for using Bitmoji. So that was our goal. And I was trying to hold it to time and then allow for questions, because I definitely want to be able to answer some questions if we have them. But our goal was to learn tips and tricks for using Bitmoji to engage your audience. So my question to you in the chat, let me know, did you learn something new that you could do with your Bitmoji? That's what I want to hear. I'm hoping you gained at least 1 tip, maybe 2. And you're right, WeVideo is free right now. Yes. All right, Miss Carter's so cool. You got a good she's got a good Bitmoji game. Miss Carter, I know you. You're rocking it. Many new tips. Awesome, Pam. Fantastic. The face swap. All right, Mariana, I can't wait to see what you do. All right, so here's the thing. I wanted to make this a challenge and fun, because if you're here, you're just as excited about your Bitmoji. So guess what? I have a challenge for you, and I'm going to give you this link here in just a second. So this is your turn. This is the Creators Challenge. I've created a collaborative deck that I want to share out, and I want to see what you all create. So choose one or more of these ideas. Crop and change your Bitmoji shape, change your Bitmoji's text, add a new element to your Bitmoji, swap your Bitmoji's face, create a Bitmoji scene, maybe add 3 Bitmojis together, create your Bitmoji story, or app smash with your Bitmoji. So those are just a few of the things I talked about. But I'd love to see, and I want to drop this link here into the chat. So I'm going to copy this link here and drop it in the chat so you guys can, if it's going to let me do it. Actually, I'm going to drop it here. You'll put it in, Nadine. That would be awesome.
I can do that.
And awesome. And the ugly link went instead of the pretty link, but you'll get to the same place. So I'd love to see what people create. That is the goal. But I'm gonna go back here one more, and so you guys can see the presentation link has been shared. We're gonna make sure you guys have that. And I have a resources page on Bitmoji with some ideas as well. But I'd love to see what you guys come up with, and if you're willing to share it in our challenge slide deck, I'd love to see what you guys come up with. And were there any other burning questions, comments, thoughts?
You had someone right in the middle that was asking, I think, more about how you do the background where it had your studio and everything. Someone was wanting to know like more information on how you did that.
Okay, so let me go back to that one. I can do that. So the one that I did for and actually I will drive that. Let's see here. I brought the one that has my studio background. I'm kind of proud of myself because it is completely made of shapes. The only stuff that I brought in that was not original, and that's just because of time, and I could go back and change it if I wanted, and this is loading super slow, but we're going to be there in a second, was the computer monitors and the computer elements. Everything else were shapes and elements that I brought in. Let's get to that one so we can see. There it is. Okay, let's go back to this one. So on this one, yeah, this right here, I did just a gray background, but this is all original shapes. So I drew this to look like my desk. I mean, this is literally what my office looks like right now. I did bring in these. I used one great site is the Noun Project to get like icons. If you want icons, you can also look for just free clip art. But like I hand drew these with shapes to get the headphones and to get my little headphone holder and the mouse. And I even recreated this element over here, the microphone and all of that. So it's just a matter of bringing in shapes to represent what your scene is. But you can use tools like the Noun Project. And there's also another one that's called Flat Icon. And I didn't add it in here, but it's actually my tech tip that's going out tomorrow. It's called Flat Icon, and it's an add-in for your Google Slides and Docs that lets you bring in icons. You can search for them, so it can make it easier for you to do design that way.
And that's one that I use quite a bit, the Flat Icon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Alexander says she is changing her expressions first. Yes, have smiley faces. That's good. Yes, awesome. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, hopefully you learned something, you found this beneficial. First of all, Nadine, thank you for the opportunity to join you and share my love of Bitmoji. This was super fun. And I'm super excited. And when we get back to the real world, if anyone's going to be at ISTE, I will be doing this session at ISTE, and we get to like do a little dive in, and you get to do some creation. And I probably will be sharing out some more resources, but this was super fun.
Yeah, so, and then hopefully when we see people live, I know I'll be out at ISTE as well. So yeah, we can actually see each other again.
That would be fantastic. Awesome.
I can't thank Jen enough for giving up her time to do this PD. I know it helps my teachers, and my whole goal here is to provide PD for as many teachers as possible. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.